So I've got to thank Bernie, who had highlighted Norfolk villagers angry after letter says their homes could be required, think about the wording of that, be required for East Pye Solar Farm. Now this solar farm, one of many being proposed across the UK, if not already implemented in many instances, is 2,500 acres. Yeah? And much of it is on arable farmland. This, I've said it before, I'll keep saying it, is part and parcel of this ongoing eugenics to help engineer a food crisis. How do you get people to wear the idea that eating bugs is a good thing? Yeah? And as many fine people have pointed out over the years, that's fine for birds. Their metabolism is set up for eating insects. Same with fish, all the rest of it. Guess what's not set up for that? Humanity. There's a protein in it. There's a few other things that's actually highly toxic to humanity. We've not got the digestive systems for it. Yeah? They know this, but that's why they're offering that as a solution. Remember, they're literally putting on arable farmland vastly inefficient ways of creating energy that has fuck all to do with sustainability. Seriously. And has a shelf life. Think about it. These panels, and they go, oh, they'll be fine for 15, 20 years, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I have heard rumours that, there was a lot of people that, and I can't see why not, that have really stepped generations ahead in the ability to make vastly energy efficient solar panels that extract the max. But apparently they all sort of died in a plane crash. By the way, if anybody's got any links, fire it into the comments. And if for some unknown reason YouTube wasn't allowing it, well, maybe it'll be hidden away and, behind the scenes, and I could maybe, or even if you say, look, Scott, I've got a link. I'll find it. But people need to start working out that this has got bugger all to do with anything other than creating an artificial food shortage. That's what this is about. Think about this. Arable farmland. Yeah? In an island with limited space. And they're literally putting shitty, inefficient solar panels while at the same time now admitting, oh yeah, we're dimming the skies. And now they're telling you, hey, you may be comfortable in your rehome there, but hey, we're the righteous. And we've got climate targets to achieve. Think about the madness of that, seriously. So anyway, under fair use, let me play you some of this. I'll not necessarily grab the speaker, just in case of, copyright, but let's play you some of this.
Yvonne is a supporter of solar. It powers her electric car. She put panels on her bungalow roof. But the 89-year-old great-grandmother does not support the plan to turn more than 2,500
Remember, this is arable farmland.
Acres of South Norfolk countryside into one of the country's biggest solar farms. So she was furious to get a letter from the developer saying her property may be required for the project.
I was absolutely appalled, and I thought they'll get my property over my dead body.
Well, a cynical individual could say, when you look at that bigger picture, yeah, that could be arranged. They're very focused, let's be honest. But no, joking apart, or am I? But yeah, over my dead body. Hey, that's not an issue for these people, seriously. Hey, look, how many times, and I'll say this in the future, when you look at what they're doing, they're destroying everything of which you would be genetically bonded to the area. People are missing what they're giving up in so many ways. The history, the beauty of phenomenal scenery and all the rest of it all over the UK. This is the problem with the young team is in many instances is, you know, they don't read older books, and they bloody well should. Seriously, they should. I mean, I'm rereading again George Orwell's Coming Up for Air. It's a book that I would absolutely recommend people read. Yeah? It's... Honestly, there is such a disconnect between what has historically it has enriched us so much about society, community, way of life, you name it. And it's like the Borg, what's going on just now. Well, of course, that was part of the mockery of Star Trek, you know, the Borg. Yeah? Resistance is futile. And remember, no matter what they were saying, and, you know, the main characters, yeah, there was almost an admiration for the collective, the Borg. You know, while the Federation's like, we're not like that. But no, they absolutely are fucking like that, because they assimilate so many fucking people, apparently to enrich their culture. Yeah? But it's about a set of laws yet again, of which everybody who enters into the Federation has to adhere to, blah, blah, blah. It's still about the collective, whether it's the Borg or the Federation. Yeah?
Which is a bit extreme, but it would really damage me a great deal. I'm just overwhelmed by it.
Look at that lovely scenery, yeah? All that's to go. Remember, stacked and packed in the compact cities, virtually, you know, virtual fucking VR headsets, whatever the bloody sad. That's to be, you know, you'll maybe get to see some of that, although I highly doubt that, but through goggles, but, you know, you'll never ever get the experience of living anywhere near something like that. Well, this has been planned for decades.
Really?
Dozens of residents here in Hempnall have had the same letter. Some have also been contacted on personal phone numbers and asked to fill in land interest questionnaires.
You know, in other words, let's just completely look at data analysis, and then look at who are the problematics, who are the problem ones that are fighting against it, who are the, you know, blah, blah, blah. How can we affect them financially, never mind anything else, blah, blah, blah. And then, of course, you've got the counsellors and all the rest of it who masquerade as the righteous, and then they do things like consultations, which, as I've said over the years, is basically the implementation of what's called the Delphi technique, but nobody seems to care, you know, but the thing goes ahead, yeah, to their detriment.
Including mortgage details.
You know, like, these people are not your friends. And people are handing data, paranoid that, well, if I don't, you know, blah, 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 and if I do, well, maybe they'll be more understanding. Understanding.
Left me feeling irritated, I have to say, quite annoyed, but also unsettled. But I could see that, you know, as this letter dropped on the through the front door of many people, and they would find it threatening, I think, is not too strong a word. Certainly intimidating, anyway.
Well, developers Island Green Power described the letters as routine and said the questionnaires allowed residents to be consulted and notified. They insist that each...
Because all this consulting, yeah, because, hey, we take your needs into... Honestly, I don't think people really work out this thing called stakeholders. This is communism on steroids, while masquerading as the righteous under Gaia Mother Earth.
Pi is crucial for meeting climate targets.
Oh, this is crucial for meeting climate targets. That's it. Remember, trace gas, 0.04% of the atmosphere. If it disappeared, we would have no plant life and we would be dead. All life, by and large, would cease to exist on Earth. By and large, yeah?
They insist that East Pi is crucial for meeting climate targets to triple solar power by 2030.
Well, remember, dimming the skies, inefficient panels that only last so long, you name it, all the rest of it, and all the problems associated. And what happens to the land? Well, you know what the land is not doing? It's not producing. And that's part of the plan. This is an interconnected death cult. And this absolutely is about artificial scarcity.
Spread across 100 fields, it would power
100 fields!
around 115,000.
And then, you know, this projected, oh, look, if we do this, this is going to do that. It's never the case. Never the bloody case. And remember, in the British Isles, sun, at the best of times, certainly not least through the chemtrail in the skies, is pretty much a rarity, yeah? That's why we've got so much bloody depression.
Homes, that makes it nationally significant, so whether it goes ahead will be down to the planning inspectorate.
Oh, you can trust them.
And that could give the developer power to
The power to compulsory
repurchase land, but they say their intention is to deliver the scheme without that.
Seriously, fuck off. Look, honestly, anybody wearing this is why we're here, and so much worse to come. Seriously. There's not a lot of bright people out there. There really isn't. And while some could say, you're only caring because it's in your back door, and there's a lot of truth in that, yeah. But it certainly won't be the last. And there's others being planned, and there's others being implemented. It is arable farmland being taken away from us. And let's not forget, you know, diminishing Western population. So the last thing you would have is a concern about the lack of housing. Yeah? But no. Our solution to this, instead of questioning why fertility, virility, and all the rest of it's gone through the floor, no, we're going to get all these people, everybody with the darker skin colour is a rocket scientist. And if you don't think the same, well, you're far right, some fascist, some this, that, and the next thing, blah, blah, blah. The complexity of this, but I keep saying to you, when you look at the details, these people are quite evil. Quite evil, seriously. Anyway, as always, I could do a better job, but hey, if you like, give it a thumbs up, a share, certainly subscribe. You've been great company, and I'll speak to you soon.